I think that's a quote from Saint Francis Assisi, and that quote. I don't think he said that. I think it was an indirect quote, but it kind of represents his thinking. Is that you want to live powerfully in such a way that people are convinced by the way that you live, so that you wouldn't even have to use words because your light is just shining so bright. I think it's a I appreciate the sentiment. I think it's trying to emphasize the importance of living a life that's worthy of the gospel and how powerful a witness is in terms of the way you live in the world. So I don't want to hate on that. But if folks are taking that to mean that words aren't really necessary in sharing the gospel, then that's pretty much it. I would say that's a deviation from how the Bible lays out how one is to share the gospel. How does someone hear without a preacher? One of the primary means by which God reveals Himself. I mean, the way that God reveals Himself is through speech, and most clearly in His words. So I don't want to devalue the power of using words, especially repeating God's words. Because if we take that quote to mean that words are typically we don't even got to use them when we're sharing the gospel, then you leave out Second Timothy 3, that these are the words that make you wise for salvation. I mean, the word of God is what sort of preps us for salvation, actually saves us, keeps us in the faith. It should not ever be seen as optional or rare. It should infiltrate because there's power in the Word of God. So I would encourage folks to take the sentiment of that quote and live as powerfully as you can. Let your good works be seen so that all men will glorify your Father in heaven. Let your conduct be excellent among the Gentiles. We want lives that corroborate with what we say we believe. So that's important. There's no reason to cut the also of the sharing the gospel through words.